Hello.
How's it going?
Not bad. Hello. Camera's in a different position. I looked way over there. That was really wrong. I'm sorry. Hello. Welcome to Guys Playing Games. I'm Perry.
I'm Ed.
And we're in a new place.
Yeah, we're in your new house.
Yeah, we're in my new house. This is exciting.
Yeah,
it's exciting now I'm fucking here.
Yeah. it's my first visit.
Yeah.
I just helped you put some pictures up.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. You can't see them.
Yeah, they're not in shot on the
shot.
on
They
the
should be though,
YouTube
because
thing.
they're great. They're great.
So yeah, I mean, I would ask you what you've been playing, but you've been doing real life.
I've been doing IRL stuff.
Yeah.
I've been AFK. I've been BRB.
Any more acronyms you want to throw in there?
No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Put me on the spot like that. Yeah, no, I've not really been playing a lot. I had like
any mobile games? You've been to get your fix mobile.
Honestly, no.
Wise.
Like so, you guys internet don't tell anyone. But when I moved in, I set up my computer and I found out that I can actually steal next door's internet.
It's pretty cool.
So I've been subtly stealing their internet for the past like 3 days, and just like playing RuneScape in the evenings. Like, so I've been like, I've not had a lot of time in the evenings at the minute because I'm like handing in keys and doing last checks in the last last flat cleaning. Yeah, but not anymore. I'm done now. So all this week I'm going to play lots of games and then we're going to talk about them next week.
Just means this week it might be
it's a bit sparse. I mean, I've got a few things to talk about.
Yeah,
so mostly, so I've been playing. So in what I've been doing in RuneScape. So my goals in RuneScape have been met basically. So I got like 3 of the 4 items I was hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can start doing like loads more content, which is really cool. Ironically, it wasn't me that got them.
Is this when Chip?
Yeah. So Chip. So this is like. So he did it again. He basically like, because he's like anti-questing. He's like, I will do Barrows runs on your account if you do the quests on my account. So I was like, right, okay, cool. What do you want?
I have a feeling you mentioned this last week.
Oh, did I actually?
Yeah.
But he basically did it again this week.
So this is
So,
a second time.
So he was like, I will do 50 Barrows chests on your account if you do X, Y, and Z. It was like Legends Quest, Recipe for Disaster, and Desert Treasure. And I was just like, fine, all right, do it. He got 2 more of the items that I needed in 50 runs. I was like, fucking hate this guy. Like, it was ridiculous. Yeah, so I now have to, at some point this weekend, do 3 of the longest and hardest quests in the game on his account.
Nice.
So
that sounds like
so that's going to be fun.
cool trade-off.
That's gonna. Yeah. Well, I didn't think he'd actually do it, but because I've not had access to my account, he's logged in and just sending me like snapshots of like him getting items on my account, and I'm like,
oh, so he's been doing it from his place.
yeah, I mean, it's not trading. He'll just change my password to something specific that he'll know, and
Perry's a noob.
pretty much, yeah.
Change it to.
Yeah.
Or something more offensive.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Well, how about you? What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? Well,
I know what you've been playing.
Yeah, because we were playing.
Because everyone's been playing it for the last 3 fucking weeks, except
Oh,
the
well,
PC gamers.
I wasn't even going to mention that.
Don't lie.
I was trying to avoid the D in the room.
Avoid the D. You can't avoid the D.
Yeah, I was not going to mention it this week, but now you brought it up.
Well, no, because you were telling me about some cool stuff, and I think the world should know about it. By the world, okay. I mean the 4 people that listen to our podcast.
Yeah, all 4.
Rachel.
Right, one of them's my half.
Yeah,
and the other 3 of you, whoever you may be. Okay, so Destiny. If you're going to make me talk, I can keep it very short.
Cool.
There's one new thing that's happened this week. So yesterday they kicked off their faction rally, which is the factions have made a reappearance.
That's exciting.
So in the social space, I'm calling it the social space for a reason. Excuse me, my throat's just gone nuts. Yeah, so there were areas in the social space that had the colours and logos of the factions, so we kind of knew where they were going to show up. But yeah, so starting at reset yesterday morning, I nearly did a spoiler. The 3 factions showed up in the social space. And yeah, so this time round, it's a bit different to how it works in D1. This time It's all we know so far is it's a weekly event. We're not sure what's going to happen after this week, but for this week, reset to reset, you pledge to a faction, which gives essentially a buff, puts a buff on your character, which says you're aligned with said faction.
So I'm assuming that's like a rep, like it means you get reputation with that faction as opposed to.
Yeah, so when you go out into the world and do, so there are things in lost sectors where there's like supply crates you have to destroy inside the lost sectors now. So each lost sector has like 3 or 4 of these supply crates, and every time you blow one up, you get a faction coin token thing. So it works the same as the rep with all the other vendors.
A fucking Mario coin.
Right, it works the same as all the other factions in the game. They've kind of got this one sort of reputation system, and then they've just blanket applied it to everything. Like, okay. I'm expecting Iron Banner to have the same system when that shows up next month. So yeah, and so the way they've kind of done it this time around is, so yeah, you get the coins. The coins, similar to the planetary vendors and all the other vendors, you get like 20 odd coins, and then you get an engram which will award you like faction armor and faction weapons for your chosen faction. And what they're doing is at the end of the week, the faction that has the most level ups, like rank ups, so like combined across all of the players, will offer a special weapon. So each faction has a specific special weapon. If you pledged to the winning faction, you will be able to buy it for 1,000 glimmer. If you did not pledge to that faction, you'll be able to buy it for 50,000 glimmer.
Interesting. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. So
I like that.
The 3 factions. One, Dead Orbit has a scout rifle. Future War Cult has something. I want to say auto rifle.
Something.
I can't remember. It's auto rifle or pulse rifle. And New Monarchy has a sidearm. The faction I'm most interested in, I haven't actually been able to log in and join in the fun yet. I might not get around to it till the weekend, and then just spend all my hungover Saturday farming it. Yeah, I'll probably go Future War Cult, because Future War Cult have three of their faction weapons. Very interesting. They have a hand cannon, which has one of the perks on it reads, once the projectile is attached to the target, it has a delayed explosive charge.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like it's not like Firefly. Firefly is when they die, isn't it? So yeah, it's this kind of delayed attached projectile, which is quite an interesting. Especially for a hand cannon. So does the projectile do damage and then explode?
Yeah. So you shoot them like normal, and then I guess like a second or so later.
That's going to be really good.
I'm keen to have a go with that. I think it could be quite interesting for PvP. Yes, and then there's like a pulse rifle with Dragonfly, which is like explosive stuff. There's a scout rifle. There's a bunch of interesting weapons.
That's
anyway,
cool.
So yeah, that's the faction stuff.
I'm so freaking pumped to play this game. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Like in literally 26 days, I will be in this chair, in this position, in my pants, playing Destiny.
Much as you are now.
It's going to be so good.
So I said I wasn't going to talk about Destiny, so we'll cut the Destiny chat there.
That's fine.
Because I have something else to talk about.
I'm not going to lie, I was intrigued. I did want to know what you were going to tell me about. So something else. What are you talking about now?
So again, you know what this is because I made you play it at my house before we came over, we can have a bit of a discussion because I know there were some things you weren't that keen on. So came out yesterday. It's a game called Ruiner, which I've been following. It's from publisher Devolver Digital and developer Rycon Games. I think that's how you pronounce Rycon. I think that's how you pronounce it.
The only word I have in my head is Rencock, and that's because that's the city.
That's the city. So it's a super stylized
twin stick,
kind of twin stick isometric. You play this kind of like cyborg-esque dude. He's got this weird kind of mask with an LED screen on it and a robotic arm.
I think Daft Punk, but with many guns.
Yeah, and it's a twin stick shooter essentially. So you're running around environments. It's kind of hyper stylized, hyper violent.
I must admit that like just playing for what, an hour, just under. The aesthetic and the visual of it is beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very nice looking game.
Such a pretty game.
Yeah,
like
they've nailed.
Really,
they've kind of they got this kind of art style, this kind of visual style, and they really kind of hammered it home. The game is red and black, and that's the kind of aesthetic thing.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
I love everything, like the logo, everything, that kind of whole aesthetic.
Let me talk about it first because I didn't play as much as you.
Yeah, I played it for a few hours last night.
Now, first things first, we can agree on the hard mode is fucking hard. I got out of the tutorial level and I had like 24 deaths.
It's not an easy game.
No.
But I mean, it's a twin stick shooter, so you shouldn't go into it expecting it to give you an easy ride. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
These games are notoriously difficult.
The couple of things. I'll talk about things I didn't really like first, because as much as there are a few things, there are actually more that I did like, and it is a fantastic game, and everyone should go fucking play it. Basically. So the things I didn't like, I felt like the dash mechanic on it was a bit delayed. Like, it wasn't as responsive as it should have been. Like, I found myself like clicking the button. Now I don't know if that was because of the pad I was playing with, or
I mean, to be fair, it was one of my older, possibly more shonkier Xbox
or I mean, it could even be like a difficulty mechanic. Like that would be interesting, but still
possibly.
It was kind of, the dashing was kind of unresponsive in places, which it killed me several times because I was like expecting to dash away, and then my character didn't move, or like. Now maybe this is because I was playing Next Machina quite a lot, but I tried to dash through an enemy and I would just collide with them. So I don't know if that's a mechanic where you can't dash through.
I mean, I don't know if you saw in the tutorial, it does actually give you a thing where... So one of the abilities that you pick on in the tutorial, like straight off the bat, is an energy shield. So you hit a button and it toggles the shield on and off, and you have like an energy bar thing that depletes, battery thing. And so if you put the shield on and dash through someone, that damages them.
Okay.
I think if you don't have the shield up, you just kind of bounce.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, I think it's just a bit of a learning curve. I think I just have to keep playing it a little bit more, and then I'll get used to that style of mechanic. Now, the thing that I did like, that I was kind of surprised about, is when you get out of the tutorial, you walk into this like almost open world, explorable hub area. Yeah, I really like that. And then you can go talk to different people, pick up different quests.
I don't know how much I explored it. I wasn't really watching.
I got to the gym, I think.
Did you kind of go around, like fully explore around the map? There's loads of people to talk to.
Yeah. There's tons of people to talk to. So I picked up a little objective where I had to hack cats. Like that was pretty cool. Yeah, just running around like hunting down cats.
So I did that.
The other thing actually, the weapons cache that's like hackable. That was a new little different style.
There's another thing I'll tell you about in a minute. But carry on.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's pretty much as far as I got. I picked up like the next storyline and went to move into the next dungeon area.
Yeah, the parking lot.
The parking lot. Yeah. And that's basically where I got to. Yeah. But yeah, it was a from what I played of it, I do actively want to go and play more. So it is very enjoyable.
I wasn't, maybe I just wasn't noticing it, but I definitely didn't notice the dash sort of delay.
Really,
stuff
that's
as
interesting.
Much. I'll admit I did turn the difficulty down a touch because I got it's weird, like the end of the kind of tutorial level, they kind of chuck this boss at you and it's actually pretty difficult.
It's a bit of a clusterfuck, isn't it?
There's a lot going on.
It's not just the boss you have to kill, it's like a bunch of different ads.
You're given a 15-second timer.
Isn't it every ad you kill puts 5 seconds on the clock? 5 seconds. Yeah, that was...
it kind of really ratchets it up from the word go. That was, I mean, I just want to enjoy playing the game.
You're not a difficulty freak.
I don't want to play it on the stupidest, hardest difficulty and try and make, like, I want to enjoy playing the game. I want to get through the story and just kind of enjoy it. And like you, I was kind of, I wasn't sure if there was just like a hub type area, or whether it, like after the prologue thing, it was just going to like chuck you into the next level. So I was really surprised and pleased to have like this kind of that little mini open worldy bit to kind of just explore.
One thing I will say is like it gives you like if you ever get lost, just click the left stick for an objective. So I clicked it and it tells me what my objective is, but it doesn't give you a direction.
So
it was kind of like
after you complete the parking lot, you gain a tracker ability, and then when you click the stick, it gives you a direction.
That's okay then. Like I'm okay with that.
As long as it's there. There's a bit of storyline progression going on.
That's cool.
One of the other things I don't think you saw. So there's a few buildings. I don't know if you went south on the map from
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
There's a couple of people you can talk to down there. There's like a nightclub that initially you can't get into
because you need a certain amount of karma,
which is basically XP in the game. It's essentially the same thing. Basically I managed to unlock that after clearing the parking lot level, and you get in there and there's another woman in there who gives you some more like side questy stuff, like the owner of the nightclub. Next door to that there is a brothel type place.
Oh, good.
Where you can talk to this very strange lady who's not wearing very much.
Lady of the night.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is she a lady or is she like a cyborg of the night?
I don't think she was a cyborg. And she is... I should have looked at the name. I'm doing my classic. I can't remember what they're called. They're like... there's some sort of like religious...
cult
thing, but they're all about death and suffering. They're like, I can't remember what they're called.
Death and suffering cult.
So maybe like the disorder or something like that. Anyway, so basically she says like they will give you rewards. She's like, after you've died 50 times, come back and see me.
Wow.
So there is like some sort of rewardy type system in place for. I mean,
if you think about it.
It kind of matches that game because it is the kind of game where
you will just rip to repeat.
Yeah, and I mean, even with that prologue thing, you say you died. I died like 28 times, like trying to beat the boss in the prologue. So like it has that kind of, and it's a really quick play mentality. It's like you die, it's like right, and it just drops you straight back in it, and you go again. Yeah, it's like really as you say, like really fast rinse and repeat.
So yeah, I find with games like this, like maybe not so much this game because. I think the difference between this game and Next Machina is that like Next Machina is like a high score game. Like I play that game to get the fucking high scores. Yeah. Like whereas this game I want to complete it for the storyline. Yeah. Like, so I think there's not going to be any points where I'm going to like miss an objective or miss like a secret and then restart. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah. There are so you didn't fully get into the next level, like the sort of first level proper. I finished that level and kind of started the next one yesterday. And the way the levels are kind of structured, you kind of wander around and each combat encounter is classed as a stage. So each combat encounter you get into, you're kind of locked into the area. Yeah. And when you complete that, you then get a grading on that encounter specifically, and you kind of move on to the next one. And so it's very kind of like the level is kind of broken up into these
quite well-structured
combat encounters. Yeah. And at the end of each one of those, it calls in this thing. I think it's just called like a weapon grinder, and it kind of so you can use weapons, and they all have generally small, as you probably found in the prologue, they have quite small clip sizes and they run out quite quickly. Sure. And it like automatically falls back to your default like infinite ammo pistol thing. But whenever you kill an enemy, obviously they drop their gun and you can go over and pick it up. But what happens is all the weapons that are left on the floor that have been unused, the weapon grinder comes down, you wander over to it and like hit activate, and it kind of like inhales all the unused weapons and then spits out a new weapon based on how much stuff. I think it gives you a bunch. Does it give you a bunch of karma? I can't remember. It definitely spits out a weapon, and then depending on how many weapons it's kind of fed in, depends on the rarity of the weapons come out. So I've had purple and the yellowy orange weapons pop out of it because I've been using the melee attacks quite
You
a
just
lot.
don't use the guns.
So I haven't been. Yeah, there's just been loads of weapons left around. So these kind of cool weapons have been popping out, which is quite an interesting little thing.
Do you get different melee weapons?
Yes, I have come across. There's like it's like a big like a mace thing that sets people on fire.
Oh, okay.
Which is quite fun.
That sounds fun.
And then I think where I left it, I just beat a boss and you take his sword. He's got like a sword, and when you beat him, you take the sword and that replaces your default melee pipe.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Some of the other, there's some like, I mean, one of the things they were kind of touting was like all the crazy kind of arsenal that's kind of in the game. I've come across, there's been 3 distinct weapons that I can, off the top of my head, there's one, it's like a disc launcher type thing, and they kind of bounce around the environment like a couple of times before they're destroyed, and that's quite fun for like just causing absolute mayhem.
In like a small space.
Yeah, you just fire it and it's just like ping ping, it's like a pinball machine.
Nice.
Of death. Pinball machine of death. There you go.
You gain concept. It's ours, internet, it's not yours.
It's a big chunky flamethrower. That's like a massive thing that he kind of lugs around. I was having a lot of fun with that. That does some serious damage. But the weapon I was enjoying most that I got my hands on toward the end of my time last night is it's like a freeze ray. So it's a single, like it's like a beam weapon. So you hold the trigger down, it's a beam, and once you've kind of like held it on target for like a second or two, they become frozen.
A solid block.
You like dash over and just melee to smash them to pieces.
That's cool.
That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. So yeah, I'm interested to see, like, I mean, this is only like the second level I'm in. So
yeah.
I'm curious to see like how crazy the weapons.
I hear it's actually quite a big game. It's quite a lengthy game, isn't it? It's like a good 20 hours.
I heard like more like 7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
For the story, but I mean, even so, for like, I think for a game of this nature, like an 8-hour campaign.
Yeah, I think an 8-hour campaign's good.
If you consider that, you know, something like Uncharted Lost Legacy is like an 8-hour game. You know, it's not a short amount of time.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I'm kind of I'm looking forward to playing more. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what to make of the story yet. We'll see how that progresses.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll explain itself. It will develop. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I'm definitely having fun with it. If you kind of like shooty bang bang.
Yeah, twin stickers.
Games.
Top-down twin stickers.
Definitely check it out. So it's from a small publisher developer. It's it's a short game, but I'm sure there was a time when like 7-8 hours was considered like a normal length of time for a campaign. But yes, it was like 16 quid. I got it on pre-order. I don't know whether that was like a cheap pre-order or not, but yeah, on Xbox I got it for like 16 quid a couple of days ago. So that's pretty reasonable, I think. Yes, PC, PS4, Xbox. Yeah, check it out.
Check it out for sure.
Yeah,
give those developers some love.
And once
because they deserve it for sure.
Yeah, once I've played it a bit more, I'm sure I'll give it more an update of any craziness that.
Yeah, maybe we'll give it like a.
I haven't encountered any like.
I don't know.
Haven't encountered any like crazy interesting bosses yet, which I know there are a few kind of unusual bosses a bit further into the game that they kind of touted in some of the promo footage and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a bit more into it.
Very good. So you've been playing Ruiner.
Yeah.
/ I kind of played Ruiner a little bit this evening. Before he fed me chicken, then took me home.
Yeah, I knew you were coming over, so it was a good opportunity for you to have a bit of a dabble.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. It was good. It was a good dabble. Cool. What have we got to talk about? I've got a couple of things / one thing, and it's RuneScape related, but I don't even care because it was super interesting and fun, and watching it was really entertaining. Okay. So last week,
tell me all of your knowledge.
Last week / this weekend, just gone. Mm-hmm. It was the build up / it was the build up to Runefest, which is it's Jagex's annual RuneScape festival basically, where they do like they party and there's a huge Q&A with all the content creators, and then they released loads of information about
Why
new
weren't you
content
there?
and stuff. Well, I wasn't there because I was moving that weekend.
Yeah, that's very
But also, I have this weird anxiety because I don't know anyone there. Like, I'd have to like drag Chip to go.
Where is it? Where's it held?
It's literally at Namco.
In London.
Eye, yeah. So they all, I know. I'm gonna go next year.
Yeah, you should-
100%. I'm gonna go next year. But yeah, it was just an awkward time for me this year. But yeah, so the week running up to this festival, Jagex for the first time invited a bunch of different. There were 12 content creators, so that they're Twitch streamers, YouTubers. Yeah, YouTubers and Twitch streamers basically. They invited them 6 to each mansion, and they rented out a mansion in London for these 6 players to play the Deadman Mode tournament. So for those of you that don't know, Deadman Mode is a seasonal tournament that Jagex host, basically, where you start a new character, you start from scratch, and
It's just like Seasons in 003 type.
kind of, except the rules are a bit different. So you start from scratch, you get like an accelerated XP rate, XP gain. So you get like 10 times XP in certain areas of the game. Yeah, it's really good. But on the flip side to that, every area is PvP.
Right.
Like other than like the main hub, like cities. So Varrock, Falador, like that you can't kill people in those cities. But outside, just outside the walls, it's all PvP. So you get like, you'll be like mid quest, or you'll be like training a stat, and someone will come up to you and just start killing you. Like it's super brutal. That's why it's called Deadman Mode, because it's like it revolves around the element of PvP.
Is it, so it's not like permadeath?
No, it's not permadeath,
Okay.
but you get like you lose a certain percentage of your bank, and you lose a certain percentage of stats. So you lose a certain amount of experience. Sorry, my nose is running really awkwardly.
You need tissues. Help.
It's fine. I've got it. We're good. Okay. So you lose, yeah. So if you die, you lose like a certain percentage of your bank and then a certain amount of XP. Now, in previous seasons, they've found that content creators, specifically streamers, are a severe disadvantage because they just get stream sniped. Like they can't do any, like they can't do anything because someone will just look at their stream, see where they are, and go and fucking kill them. So they were like in an
That's
effort.
pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So it's kind of like it has. So Deadman Mode has a nickname now called Clanman Mode because there are different clans in RuneScape. You get them competing in these Deadman Mode tournaments because you can win like $20,000.
Oh, okay.
So there's like a monetary
serious.
value. Yeah, there's a serious
Okay.
monetary value, and like they'll obviously divide it out between their clan and stuff. But like you get clans of like 50 to 100 people like participating in these events, like because so the seasonal the invitational tournament, which is only 5 days long, and then ends in a like a battle royale, is an invitational. So you have to be top 20 in the seasonal. No, sorry, not top 20, top 2,000 in the seasonal to get an invite to this tournament, and that's where you get the prize money.
Right.
So you get these teams like grouping up against these streamers and just locking them out of the game. And like so, in an effort to stop that, Jagex created these the Deadman Mansions, they're called, and they put these 6 streamers in each mansion so they could basically become a team and like help each other. you know. And there was some really great content that came out of it, man. Like someone like I remember I was watching Curtis. He was just training Slayer in one of the Slayer caves, and this team came and found him and tried to kill him, and he was just like, "Assemble, team!" Like, and everyone fucking came and helped him. Like it was really cool. And then there was this like battle of like 5v5 in this little Slayer area. Like yeah, it was
Nice.
really cool. It was such a good week of content for RuneScape. Like yeah, they need to do it better next time because they had a few sort of connection and internet issues at the mansions
Okay.
because they were like running on
All that stuff
standard
always.
broadband.
Yeah. Why do these these technical things always seem to throw
yeah.
these companies when they set like if you're going to set up like a whole bunch of people to play internet, you need to be throwing like
It gets better.
big connections.
It gets
like,
so better. So the final was at Runefest, and you got the 12 content creators were on stage. They were playing live. They all got DDoSed. Legitimately, like half the players in the Deadman seasonal got DDoSed. Like it was a travesty. Like everyone on the stage were like, I can't eat my food. I'm lagging. Oh, I'm dead. Like that was literally it. It was hilarious.
So it brings to mind the Pokemon Go thing they tried to do in the States
exactly
earlier this year, where they arranged this big like official Pokemon Go meetup
it got hacked.
Yeah, it was in some park somewhere, and like the IT. I mean, I think maybe part of it was they got like way more people turned up than they were expecting.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, the infrastructure that they put in place to handle all these people going to play Pokemon Go at this like official festival thing, it just collapsed, and they basically had to refund everyone because it was just a complete failure.
That's really funny. Yeah, so there was like huge controversy behind this attack because they were like, well, so there's a clan called Rot, Reign of Terror, that are like renowned for being dirty players, and they're like, it's obvious that Rot have
griefers.
Yeah, they've DDoSed, and they've paid people to DDoS so they can win the 20 grand. Like it was really funny. So there's currently an investigation going on to try and figure out like
drama
if they should redo the final, or because it was a bit of a cop out. Like if you think about it as well, like these streamers were literally playing for like 21 hours a day for 5 days straight to be able to. Yeah, it was nuts. Some of the streams were great. Like I had multi-Twitch up, and I was just watching like 5 different people, and then just like switching volumes whenever I saw something interesting happening on stream. It was a really great week for content. That was basically what I got excited about last week.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I'm definitely going to Runefest next year because I want to like the content creators
make
that were
some
there.
Friends.
So no, so one of my favorite RuneScape players, MMORPG is his game name, but
what?
It's weird. It's terrible. So his name's Curtis. So he vlogs every time. And he released his Runefest vlog, and it was like an hour and 20 minutes, and it's just him like walking around chatting to people. I'd love to go there and meet him. Like that'd be really cool. I would.
That reminds me of the Guardian Con thing that a bunch of the Destiny streamers kind of do. It's an unofficial like Destiny convention. They did it. This was their second year this year.
Where is that?
In the States.
Good. Very.
I'm gonna say
specific.
Florida.
Okay.
Because I know Gathalion's in Florida, and he's one of the organisers, so I'm going to assume it's in Florida. It might not be. I have no idea.
Was it called Guardian Con?
Yeah, it's just Guardian Con. So similar thing like Date, one of the other streamers that I watched. He's more of a YouTube content creator than streamer.
I've actually seen a bunch of his videos. He used to do loads of videos on like loot caves and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah. And his famous one recently was like, so he did a Xur video every week for the entire length of D1, and obviously the past couple of months with D1 winding down, like nobody wanted anything from Xur, but he basically his weekly Xur video is a descent into madness of like his last few videos are worth going back and watching just to watch him going like, and this thing nobody wants, like this piece of crap, what even is this? It's just him losing his mind.
This thing that's been in the shop 12 times.
Like a behind the scenes video of him doing the last one. Him just like losing his mind. Like he had staying up to like reset at like 4 a.m. or whatever it is in the States to record his like last Xur video. Because that was the other thing. He would, because reset is in the middle of the night in the States, he would stay up every week to make the video.
To be like the first
like his like Friday, I guess Thursday night / Friday mornings or whatever it was. Yeah, he's been doing it for the duration of Destiny, and it basically drove him insane. And yeah, it was pretty funny.
I bet his recent Xur video has been good though.
Yes, well, I'm being fair you say that. Xur hasn't really been up to much, hasn't he?
Well, good.
He doesn't carry.
Was his first video just like finding Xur?
It's not hard. He's marked on the map.
Oh, that's good.
So that was easy. And he carries 4 items and that's it. I have a feeling there's more to come from him. surely by the fact that he's only carrying 3 armor pieces and a weapon, which is, I mean, okay, he carried more stuff in D1, but most of it was.
You said something really interesting last week. You're like, there's a whole faction behind him, and he's only like a disciple of this.
Yeah, he is an agent. Yeah, that was the Trials stuff.
13 or the
Trials of the 9.
The 9. That's
yeah, so the 9 is this kind of thing, and he's an agent of them. Yeah, I think with them switching Trials to the 9, I think we're going to be seeing and learning a lot more from these people in the coming.
And you were like the things that he sells are supposed to be like shitty things that he's scavenged, but to us were amazing.
I think his he has a voice line. If you just like stand near the vendors, they just kind of recite random voice lines. And one of the things I think he supposedly says, he's like the trash collector for the 9 or something. So the stuff he's selling is just rubbish. But so like the Guardians are like
you want this? The highest trash tier,
highest of the high tier to the Guardians. But I completely forgotten how I got back onto Destiny after threatening not to talk about. Datto, yeah. So Datto did like you're saying about the Curtis chap. He did a vlog of Guardian Con, which is like, because he travelled to it, so it's like a whole road trip thing. I think they drove, so it's like
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that was really nice, and it was like he spent the majority of his time there just like doing meet and greets. Basically, I think he actually stood in like one spot for like
the whole time,
almost 3 days straight, which is not just doing.
He became
meet and greet. Yeah, weird way. Yeah, that's.
He should have legit just cosplayed as Zer, and just stayed there and been like, "So, you want this trash signature? Here you
go." People would have to pay him in strange coins,
foreign money. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, talking about conventions and stuff, we're talking about going to
Comic-Con, MCM
at the end of.
Well, the end of October.
Yeah, so I was going to say the end of this month, but that's almost true.
It's the end of next month. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is we should do it.
Yeah. We're gonna get some t-shirts.
Get some t-shirts with some websites and stuff strapped to the back.
Yeah.
And just go talk to people.
Chill. Maybe hopefully talk to some. The plan is to kind of turn up and maybe try and ambush some
game devs.
Indie game devs. Maybe try and do a little vlog. Maybe a bit of a bonus podcasty type thing.
I'm very down for this. I'm very, very down for this. We should look into getting tickets and stuff.
Yes, we need to sort that out. Otherwise, we won't be going nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. That sounds really fun. And then, if there is anyone there that watches this that wants to meet us,
or even if you don't watch this and you want to meet us,
Mum. Basically, translation is, "Mum, can you pay for Comic-Con for me, please?"
That's right. I'll get you. I got you back.
Dad's going to pay for Comic-Con. We're getting on. We're sidetracking again.
Tangent.
What else do you have to talk about? We've done good. We're at 38 minutes right now. I'm impressed with this. I thought this was going to be a shorter episode.
Right. I mean, I kind of noted. So there's Divinity Original Sin 2 came out last week.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I've been watching a few streams of this.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna lie, it looks great.
Yeah, it's so for those not familiar with the Divinity franchise, there was the original game Divine Divinity, with a lot of people criticise this name, but it was actually a really, really very good RPG, highly critically acclaimed RPG that came out, I'm going to say 15 years ago. It's a long time, because basically I worked on a publisher that I was working at the time, CDV as they were called, a German publisher. I'm not sure they're around now anymore. I think they might have disappeared. But yeah, this was the first incarnation of the franchise. And it was a very, very ambitious title at the time, a massive game, and they had success with that. Maybe not as much as they liked it at the time. They did a sequel, and they decided to go full 3D, which was less well received, I believe. and I think they kind of went away for a while, and then they came back. I guess now looking back, it would be a couple of years ago, with Divinity Original Sin, where they kind of went back to their roots. It's top-down, isometric-y, like proper old school RPG,
but beautiful.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, but the thing that always impressed me the most was the systems they have in place. They're very big on, like, if you want to play the game and do things in the game, like the way that you want to do them, you can.
Yeah.
They're big on giving you the freedom to do and play the game however you like.
I must admit, I was watching Carnage play, and he was just like, there are so many different ways that you can combo your abilities with, like, your characters and stuff. Like there was one guy that can, like, turn the floor into water, and then another guy that can electrocute it and kill everything that's wet.
Because that's the other thing. Like, all the environmental stuff works in the way that you expect it to. Like, you can, like, knock over a barrel of oil that spills oil everywhere, and you set it on fire. Like, it's the outcome that you expect, and like other games don't like respect or have these systems in place. And like you were saying with the water, like if you're out in the kind of wilds and there's a stream, if you can kite the enemies into the stream and then like fire some lightning at it, everyone in the stream gets damaged because water and electricity don't mix. I really like it's that that interplay between the systems. And they have like really interesting subsystems for different classes. I know in Original Sin 2 that just came out, there's quite an unusual undead class, and also there's no, I think I'm not sure if it's intrinsic to the undead class, but there's an ability you unlock in the game that gives you the ability. You basically toggle the ability on, and you can see. You kind of go into the spirit world, and you can see all the ghosts.
Wraith mode, yeah.
You can see all the ghosts wandering around the world, and it's not like you go into a specific area and there is a specific ghost that you need to talk to. It's like you could be in a town square or wherever, and you just see all these ghosts just wandering around, and you can go over and talk to them. Like, you might have had a side quest earlier in the game where you were trying to solve a murder. Once you've got this ability, you just go find the corpse and you talk to the ghost and find out who killed him. Like, it just completely flips it on its head. Like, you could have legitimately solved the murder earlier in the game,
like Scooby-Doo style.
Yeah, but you could and it's that kind of freedom of just playing it. However, and like all these little, it's just all these systems that are in place, like the crafting and item system. I think you can pretty much combine. Any item you can pick up in the game can be combined with other items just to make random stuff.
That's cool. I really like that.
So, yeah, it's
we need to play it.
Yeah, so we're planning. So the Original Sin 1 came out on PC, and then later came out on console. Mm-hmm. Original Sin 2 has launched on PC but has not hit console yet. So we were chatting the other day. We're doing
a co-op campaign.
Yeah, contemplating doing a co-op campaign
with one.
Yeah, because I got it on Xbox and haven't really put.
Yeah, and I've never played it, so that could be a good.
Yeah, so we might do a little YouTubey thing of us doing some co-op playthrough of Original Sin. I mean, how far we will get in this, I don't know, because it is a massive game. But yeah, it'd be certainly interesting certainly interesting to do a few videos on, I think.
Yeah, I'm down for it. We should definitely have a go.
Yeah, because playing co-op, it'd be really interesting because the conversation system's quite interesting as well. Because both games, they're both designed with co-op in mind, and so there's basically two lead characters in the game that you can kind of switch between at will if you're playing solo. But when you get into dialogue with people, the characters can then they can kind of, I don't want to say, they can kind of argue and disagree and have discussions between themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool.
And playing co-op, obviously you would control your character's responses
So it's almost like the two players are bickering
conversing, against
game.
each other, like potentially with a third party, which is it's a really interesting little system.
It's cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to play it. We should.
So at some point over the next few weeks, we might.
Watch out for that. Upload it. We'll put it up on the net.
On the YouTube,
and everyone can watch it, and it'll be cool, and it'll be an amazing success.
Obviously.
You got anything else you want to talk about this week?
There was one thing that struck me when we were talking about Ruiner a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
When you mentioned the dash stuff and it possibly being down to difficulty, I think this might have been another podcast, a gaming podcast I was listening to recently, which I unfortunately don't recall the name of, so nice. I can't give them credit for
no plugging, sorry.
But this wasn't like a main topic, it was something they just happened to mention. That games have, it's been noticed, possibly not confirmed, but games have stuff like that in them to kind of not so much help the player, but it's a feeling of like sort of satisfaction almost. So I think in some of the examples they were giving are like in like say like platform games, when you kind of you got the old school platform games where you have to do the pixel perfect jumps and stuff. It's kind of that thing where you kind of you think you're going to miss the ledge and you kind of technically should miss the ledge that you're aiming for, but
just get it.
Just kind of it just kind of grabs it at the last second. It's that kind of thing. It's like do video games have these things in there that would otherwise drive you insane? Mm-hmm. But they have these little kind of nudges. Another thing they were talking about
to be like, go on, just keep playing. Like, just keep going.
Yeah, they were talking about also like in FPSs. I think there was one they mentioned. I wasn't really planning to talk about this, so I can't remember the specifics, unfortunately. There's an FPS where the bullets are kind of ever so slightly attracted towards the enemies. So like maybe it's more of a console FPS type thing. So it's not so much aim assist, but the bullets like are sort of slightly drawn towards targets almost. So it makes you feel like you're playing better than you actually are, if that makes sense.
It's interesting.
Another things where like you obviously have games where there's like big set pieces and like explodey barrels and all the rest of it that makes stuff look cool and exciting and fun. And so like again, like bullets getting drawn towards maybe like explodable objects and stuff to like trigger the stuff that you might not see otherwise.
Yeah, that's interesting. You never really think about it, do you?
Yeah, it's kind of it'd be really interesting to kind of dig into and try and find out if this was a thing.
Any like specific games of examples?
Developers specifically do put in place these little mechanisms that kind of very subtly alter your play style, to either make you feel like you're doing better than you are, or triggering stuff that you might not necessarily interact with.
It was just an interesting like. If anyone's ever experienced this in a game, maybe like drop a comment and let us know so we can investigate it and we can. Yeah,
maybe I should go try and figure out where I heard this before and get some more specific references.
Yeah, that would be cool. So we can play it and see.
Handy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, there you go.
I left my phone. On not,
rookie error.
Not silent.
Good job.
How are we doing?
We're doing good. Hit him with a fact. Let's wrap.
Yeah. Short one today.
Yeah. We're done 50 minutes.
Okay.
Considering we had no fucking plan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the moving.
Yes, I do apologise, but yeah, my life will.
I wasn't.
No, of course
calling you out. Like it's just.
My life will normalise. It will stabilise now. I'll return to being a nerd. So I'll be playing more games and checking out more nerd media. So next week be a better podcast. I promise.
He's lying. It's going to be terrible. Actually, no. Next week's going to be good, but we'll talk about why in a second. After my fact.
All right. After his fact.
Fact of the week. I'm going to make jingles.
You can make a little jingle.
I think we need jingles. Me singing it's a terrible idea. But yeah, I think we should. Yeah, we need to liven things up. Maybe
with a fact of the week jingle. All right, let's do it. Let's make it.
All right, this week's fun gaming fact of the week. I like this. It's another good one. Don't read it. Stop reading it. I can see you reading it. You're ruining it. No spoilers. So, during the 2008 presidential election, Barack Obama took out in-game advertising in 18 video games that ran in 10 different states in the US. They had like a vote for change billboard graphic that was visible in games like Burnout Paradise, Skate, and Madden. So you'd be like, enjoying your I assume it's probably more online, the online side of these games. But yeah, imagine driving around Burnout Paradise and seeing a vote for Obama.
Vote for Obama
billboard. Yeah, it's quite an interesting way of hitting like a particular
really
demographic.
Fucking smart.
Yeah.
Like, it's either that or put your ads in porn. It's like
hitting that demographic.
Hit that demographic, man. I mean, porn's a bit more questionable. Like, this is ingenious. There's a fine line.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't mention anybody having done it since then, so whether it was a one-off or not. I mean, that was like, almost 10 years ago now. 10 years ago. I mean, the fact that the ability to do stuff like that existed 10 years ago is kind of surprising.
I like it. I like to think I like to think it's like a subtle form of indoctrination. It's like
it just makes Obama even cooler than he already was.
Pretty much, yeah.
Is
that possible?
He's pretty
basically
cool.
he's basically like a dad version of Will Smith. Don't you think?
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Like, if you put Obama and Will Smith in the same room together, magic would happen.
What, you saying they'd get it on?
No.
That's weird.
Thanks for tuning in this week, guys.
Where's this going?
No, it's like, it would just be a good time. Shut up. Let's just talk about next week. Tell them about next week.
This has all gone wrong.
Tell them about next week.
It's all gone wrong.
Next
week, we've got a guest. It's our second ever special guest.
Second special guest.
We've got Johnny. Oh God, I forget how to. Johnny. I can't remember how to pronounce his surname, and I was really worried about getting it wrong because I don't want to offend him. Johnny Chiodini. I'm going to say Chiodini. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I hope he doesn't listen to this.
I hope he doesn't listen to this. Basically, we've got a guest, and he's cool. And
Johnny from Eurogamer.
Yeah, that's
Let's go with that. He does some. He's been doing a really cool segment for Eurogamer where he's been doing these videos where he cooks recipes found in video games, which we watched a whole bunch of the other night.
I watched so many more. When
really?
I watched so many. They were fucking great. Like I have a lot of stuff to talk to him about.
Okay, good. He also does. So he does a lot of video content for Eurogamer. Plays various things. One of the other regular things he does, they do a PUBG stream every Tuesday where a bunch of them get together and try and get their chicken dinners. They did, we'll probably chat to him. We haven't mentioned it today, but they had EGX was last weekend, so he was down there, so we'll probably chat to him about what went down at EGX.
Tune in for that, because that's going to be a fun podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And we might stream it. If I've got stable enough internet, we may stream it, but yeah, don't hold us to that. It will definitely be recorded and uploaded at least.
I mean, as this one.
This one was not streamed, obviously. As we are not now live, or we won't have been live on Wednesday when you see. Yeah.
It's not going to be obvious that we haven't streamed it if you are listening to it after the fact.
True.
Anyway, let's call it a day because this is going all over the place.
Yeah, I'm losing. I died. I'm sorry.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. We've been guys playing games that don't actually play games. We just talk about them. But yeah,
we've got to stop bringing it up.
We've got to stop. We need to change our name. Is what we need to do. All right, we have been a podcast that talks about games.
Yes, I've been Ed.
I've been Perry. Thank you. Good night. See you next week.
Cheers.